Good day from Las Vegas. This is Winner Circle, brought to you by gamblersworld.net. And we have a great program for you today. We're covering a number of different sports, and we have a dynamic duo right here. Matt Fargo, a big Canadian Football League winner last night. And of course, I'm your host today, Chip Chirimbes. Poor Sean Higgs that didn't untie that white jacket. His hands are behind his back right now, Matt. I think he may be back by the weekend. So we're going to have to clear a few things up before that happens. Anyway, Sean, welcome aboard. Congratulations on opening the Canadian Football League with a winner. And there's a lot going on out there today. We have the Red Sox and the Yankees going at each other. The WNBA, where I'm faring quite well at 10-4. And Matt, the Pacers did it again. How many times is this team going to come from behind and capture a win? And they start off the finals with a big win over Oklahoma City, who has dropped from a 7-1 favorite. They're now 325-1 to still win it, down one game to none. Matt, what'd you see in the Pacer game last night with Oklahoma City? Did you think during that game at any time that the Pacers were going to have enough to come back and win?
None.
Yeah.
None. And then, like, I think you said, like, pre-show, like, we're talking about it. OKC was up 12, 11, 10, 9.
Right.
You think you're going to run away with it, and then Indiana found a way to do it. And honestly, can I say it? Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle. Rick
Well,
Carlisle.
you know what? Here we are with Halliburton being selected by his peers, by members of the NBA, as the most overrated player in the league.
Right.
And here he is coming through the way Brunson would dream about. So,
Right.
I mean, it's kind of. I wonder if there's a personality thing there, Matt, where they're just. That's the
It.
reason they're putting him down, because he's been a great player.
Yeah. He was obviously on the Olympics team, and I think I think there was a game that he didn't even get in on. I forget, whatever. But like you say, a lot of it is, I think, with attitude, personality, and if they don't like the guy, they're not going to vote him in.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
and
you know.
I wonder if his father had anything to do with that. And we know the incident about his father running out onto the
Yeah.
floor and taunting
Yeah.
the opponents. I mean, that's really uncalled for, and really shouldn't be happening in professional
Right.
sports. Um, I'd like to let everyone know out there that you can get any of Matt's, mine, or any of the 13 outstanding handicappers' premier selections by logging on to gamblersworld.net. And of course, we will give you free selections here today, and you catch some insights as to why we may like a game or not, and maybe you can pick something up. By the way, we're going to hit here, like, subscribe, and you'll sit here and you'll be notified every single time we've got a winner for you. So we are gamblersworld.net. And the NHL, I mean, what happens there? You see the Panthers go out to a 3-1 lead, and then this is a team that's defending champions. And like Indiana in the NBA, Edmonton just won't quit. They were down 2-0 to start the NHL playoffs. Here they are with a 1-game lead in the finals. Are you dealing with hockey as well, Matt?
No, I love to watch it though, and I watched the whole game
Yeah.
the other night, and Florida got to that lead, and their legs just they were done. They got tired. You could tell they were
Yep.
just tired.
And
And
aesthetic. No, I was
good.
going to say aesthetically, it was a great game to watch. The colors, the
Yeah,
uniforms, and I thought
yeah.
they had their fashion designer right on cue with the game one. All right, let's go. I mean, let's get to the end. Major League Baseball, rather. Interesting game here. And the line sort of took me back. We got the Chicago Cubs, 16 games over 500, going to Detroit. Detroit's a 2-1 favorite, Matt. I mean, Detroit is 18 games over 500, and they certainly are one of the pleasant surprises this year in the major leagues. But this is a team that did make the playoffs last year. Um, we've got Ben Brown going for the Cubs. I'm really not too familiar with what he's done so far, and Tariq Skubal is pitching for Detroit, and that's why they're 2-1 favorite.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
And for me, the obvious play is Detroit and Skubal, or Detroit -1.5 with Skubal. I'm on the Cubs. I'm taking the Cubs. Skubal, came off that 93 pitch,
Right.
complete game shutout 2 starts ago. Followed it up with I think it was 7 innings of shutout baseball again. But now he's facing the Cubs, who are, I think, number 2 against left-handed pitching this year. And Ben Brown has been so up and down. You can't trust him.
Right.
But at this price, man, like,
Yeah.
man,
This this
this team is so good. This team is so good. The offense is so good. What they've done recently, let me look up quick. Like what they've done recently has been so good.
you
They
know,
got
Matt.
shut out. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, they got shut out against Washington 2 games ago. But other than that, 7-8, 7-2, yeah, 2. But they hit left-handed pitching well.
Yeah.
Scuball obviously is the reigning Cy Young guy. He's amazing. But it's a spot I think where he can get taken, in my opinion.
You know, both these teams have been very profitable for their backers all season long. Chicago Cubs up at 745, which isn't bad at all, and Detroit's up over $1,000 at $100 a play each and every day out there.
There.
Detroit 7-3 in their last 10. The Cubs are 8-2. This is going to be one of the formidable matchups of the day. But like you said about Ben Brown's inconsistency, Matt, his ERA is almost 6, 5.72, and of course Scoble we know is like he's at 2.26. Scoble's given up 53 hits in 76 innings. It is tough to score runs off him, and he is tough to hit. And it's just laying 2-1 is so tough. You know, like you said, if you lay a run and a half, you get a decent break out of it. You know, last year at home, um, the Cubs. I'm trying to figure out exactly what this was. They were 10-1, 4-0. That I'm sorry. I'm going to have to sit and take the Cubs here, is what I'm trying to get to, because the line is so deep and the Cubs are so deep in hitting, like you said, Matt. They've got pretty good balance this year, and they have a rookie, I believe his name is Armstrong, that's doing pretty well with them. And it's always
Crow
great to see a
Armstrong.
team surprise in baseball. What was that?
I said Crow Armstrong, yes. Yeah,
Yeah, and
he's awesome.
you know, it's Detroit's emergence last year was really a surprise. They make the playoffs, had a great second half of the season, and you know, to tell you the truth, Matt, I'm kind of surprised that it carried over this year the way it has, because this team is a contender and they believe in themselves. And when you've got this guy going out to the mound every fourth day or fifth day, you know you've got something to work with.
Right.
So
Chip, we talked about this 2 days ago, how Detroit was so bad uh, 2 or 3 years ago, and they built their farm system up, and this is what they got now. This is what
right.
they have now, and they're so young and so good. This is going to be a team that's going to be on top for a long time, I think.
Well, you know, aside from Scooble, they do have Mize, and he was drafted
Yeah.
#1. I think it was
Yep.
4 years ago, and we're starting to see him mature a little bit out on the mound and become a little bit more professional out there. All right, so that's it with the Cubs and the Tigers. Two great surprises, and you know, you've got the matchup of the day, according to Major League Baseball fans, is the biggest rivalry in baseball, where Boston Red Sox are going to New York, and they are going to be playing the Yankees. Yankees plus 220 on the year. The Red Sox minus 771. Matt, this Red Sox team has blown more saves than any other team in baseball right now, but they have a Yankee killer starting today, Walker Buehler. And though he's only 4-4, he seems, and a 4.4 ERA. After a disastrous season last year, he was excellent in the playoffs, shut the Yankees down in Game 5, and Yankees are coming with Will Warren. I don't know what that's going to do for him. How do you see this matching up between these two teams?
I love this. Like, I'm a Toronto fan, obviously, but I will watch every pitch of this series because
Yeah,
it's so good. It is the
yeah,
best series, obviously, in baseball. These teams hate each other, and it's
yep,
so good to like watching like the Yankees Dodgers series last weekend was fun to watch.
right.
This one's so much better, just because it is what it is and the history of it and everything. And in this game, Will Warren is minus 190. Come on, man! Like,
No,
really?
I don't see
Come on.
that either.
Like, I like Walker Buehler. Yeah, he's had his ups and downs, but I'm sorry. I'm all over Boston here. I really am. Like, they're having a tough season, like you said. They're what, 4 games under? Yeah, four
Yeah,
games under
30 and
500.
34 right now.
And the Yankees are the Yankees. We get that. But man, Will Warren, who got lit up by the Dodgers, Boston could do that if they come to
Both
hit.
we know Boston can hit the ball. You know, their trouble is picking it up and throwing it. And you know, they're
Right.
their relief staff has been terrible. Will Warren's got an ERA over 5, and I understand wanting to fade the Yankees here. Bueller in 2021, before he started shoulder problems, was 16-4, and 2 years before that, he was 14-4. And I believe last year he had 1 win in his first 11 starts. But then the playoffs came, and boy, he owned the Yankees. He looked as good as he ever has. And I think you may have something going for you. But during the regular season, Bueller hasn't beaten the Yankees. We understand he was with the Dodgers all those years, but he's 0-2 during the regular season against them with an ERA of almost 5. And Boston has won only 3 of their last 11 coming in. It's a tough take, especially but at 2-1, it sort of eases the pain, Matt. If you win this one, you can split the other 2 and still come up profitable if you're having them. Anyway, so Matt and I
Yep.
both lean toward Boston here, even though I've been to plenty of these games in New York, once in Fenway, where it's the Yankees and the Red Sox. And the intensity of the crowd screaming at each other, and if you're a Boston Red Sox fan, you can come to Yankee Stadium and you will be
It's
verbally chastised. I can tell
it's
you that. But
it's
there's really
it's
nothing
pure
physical going on. What was that?
it's pure hate.
Yeah,
It's pure
and
hate.
I've been at games where the guys in front of me were wearing Red Sox gear, and one guy had a Clemens shirt, and the Yankee fans, they weren't throwing anything at him, but they were threatening him and yelling him, and
Yeah.
I could see it in the fear in the guy's eyes, and I said, relax, nothing's going to happen, you're going to be okay. But I miss Jeter not being there, getting hit by a pitch by Martinez, and everything else going on, but the Red Sox have fallen defensively, and they have no relief pitching. They're no longer a threat. A lot of people like them this year, Matt, to give the Yankees big balls in the AL East, and yet it doesn't look like they're going to emerge at all. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
there's time. There's time. Like the Yankees haven't run away with anything yet, so this Boston team, as long as their pitching staff can come around, I think they maybe can make a run. I don't know because
how about
I love their offense. I love their
how
offense.
about the
So
headaches they're having? Getting Bergman, putting him in at third base. Devers doesn't want to. He doesn't want to lead
yeah,
third. They move him to DH. I mean, you're a professional. Do anything they want you to do to win. And now they're moving him to first base because Bergman got hurt, and they're bringing someone else to play third. So they've got a little, say, animosity in the locker room, or it's not all you know, cherry and cream, shall I say. So the
right.
Red Sox are having their issues with player personnel, and
Yeah,
we'll see
and,
what's
and,
going on
that,
here. I think that
and
they,
that's
they will
and
rise
that's
for the Yankees, though.
yeah, and that started out right in the beginning of the season when Devers when he said, I'm not doing that." Like, okay, how about you play for your team?
Yeah, that's it. Just right.
And maybe that is part of what's going on. I don't know,
Well,
but at the same time, it's like, dude, like do what you can do for your team. You know what I
what I
mean?
mean,
Like,
I agree. Yeah, and Matt, what is it with Boston? Didn't they have some issues before when Valentine was there and Pajora, and they were there's a lot of issues between on that club in the clubhouse. I mean, they were eating chicken in the bullpen, and there
oh
was
my
a.
gosh, oh my god,
Do you remember?
I do remember that. Oh my
So
gosh.
they didn't have to grease the ball up. They just had to go out with their hands as it was. So
I do
it's an
remember
interesting
that.
series.
Wow.
It's always got a
Yep.
storyline to it, and
Oh, that's funny.
so I'd
Yeah.
love to see it get off on the right foot. All right, our final game, Matt, between you and I. And by the way, out there, don't forget we are selling premium picks at gamblersworld.net. That's Matt Fargo. I'm Chip Chirimbes. You have a dynamic duo for you today. And, we have 13 handicappers, a baker's dozen, and they're all among the best in the country. And Matt, I would pit our overall record with the people we have on our website with any other website that sells picks out there because we've got the top of the food chain. All right, let's go. Interesting game. Late night starts. San Francisco is going to be hosting Atlanta. What happened last night to Atlanta, Matt, was one of the most
Oh
incredible
my
things we've
god.
ever seen. And we see this every day. And I never get disappointed with being overwhelmed by what's happening out there. And as we can say, Atlanta had a 6-run lead entering the ninth inning. And the Arizona Diamondbacks scored 7 runs to win that one, a most improbable win. Matt, we know Atlanta started the season 0-7, and they fought like the Dickens to get to the breakwater mark, to get to 500. And guess what? They're 7 games under 500 again. They're just not playing all that well, and yet they come up a strong favorite at San Francisco here, $1.30, $1.35. How do you see this one?
Uh, I as I said earlier, I have a premium on this one. You know, Schwambach is pitching awesome right now.
Right.
His last two starts, but going back to yesterday, like how can you recover from giving up 7 runs at the top of the ninth
Yeah.
and then traveling out west? Like how can you recover from that? And
Imagine what's that flight like. I wonder what that flight like is going on.
right, Mike, you're exactly right. Like how what is the demeanor of all these players
Yeah.
right now? Um, you know, they're 10-20 on the road, and I'm sorry, they're not 10 on the road. Actually, they
No,
are. Yeah, 10,
they
10
are
20.
10 and
Yeah,
20, and Giants are
and
19 and 11 at home.
yeah,
So
yeah, and the Giants have been playing well, and I do have a premium on this game, and I'll say it right now. You know, I think you know who I'm on. I don't think Atlanta can recover from that spot.
okay.
Um,
Well,
anytime, anytime you get a team that you know is coming off an embarrassing loss like that, when they're a good team, they can recover. Atlanta's not a good team right now.
yeah.
They haven't been all season. They haven't been. Like
Well,
you said, they start
their pitching staff's been decimated with
right,
injuries, and Kuna didn't. He missed the first half of the season, or first month of the season.
right.
You know, this Atlanta team's almost minus $1,500 if you bet $100 on them each and every game. The
Yep.
Giants are plus 183. The Giants are a scrappy team. They hustle, they steal bases, they steal runs, but they I don't believe they have the overall talent that it takes to win. They're in a very tough division with the Padres and the Dodgers. And the thing here about this game is this Schellenbach or Spencer's his first name. I'll call him that. At 4-4, he's had 4 games of his 12 starts where he didn't allow a run at all, Matt. And Hayden Birdsong, has been outstanding for the Giants with a little limited resume. We don't have that much a sample size, but he is 3-1 with a 2.37 ERA. And I think this game stays under the total. As long as they're not pulling the ball in this park in San Francisco, if they're hitting it to right center or the center, the balls are going to stay in the park. Birdsong has been so good, and so has Schwellenbach. So
Schwalbenbach.
Schwellenbach,
Yeah,
right? Spencer Schwellenbach.
Schwalbenbach.
Uh,
Schwalbenbach. Yeah.
they've lost 4 straight, the Braves, and 8 of the last 10. I play this game under the total. Giants have won their last 2. So that's pretty much it for Major League Baseball. And remember, we do have WNBA out there. Chip Chirimbes now 10-4 after the Mystics win last night. And we're looking forward each and every day, man. We have either baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. If you consider the Canadian Football League football, it is without a doubt. It's a great
It's
game to watch,
football.
isn't it? I
It is
mean, 12
football.
guys, people in motion, 110-yard field, and running the ball
Three
out of
da-
the end zone or you lose points. I
three
mean,
three downs. How can you not love it?
they have to be in action with 3 downs, right? There's no. Let's just call a dive on first play and
Right.
give up a down. You can't because now it's 2nd and 8 and you have to make a first there. So
Exactly.
it's an interesting game. It's quite fun to tell you the truth. And they seem to have quarterbacks that are a little bit more agile or that like to run as opposed to
Yeah.
the NHL. I mean the NFL where they like to keep you in a pocket. Although of course some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, Matt, are runners. And once they get banged up a little bit, things seem to change.
Can I ask your opinion on one thing?
What's that? Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers. What do you think? Is he going to be a
Uh,
good fit? Is he going to be a good fit
I,
there?
he didn't. He's not even going to the voluntary camps. So I don't know. They lost Najee Harris, right? The Steelers. So they've lost their quarterback
Well, they
and their
also have
running back.
they lost Pickens. Pickens is gone.
And I think that I think he'll. Do I think that Aaron Rodgers can take them to the playoffs? Possibly. Do I think they can win in the playoffs? I don't see them going too far, Matt. I really don't. And we still have so much in front of us when it comes to football, aside from
Oh, sure.
injuries. And there's a lot of things that happen when teams get out there. Game 1, by the way, we mentioned how Edmonton came from behind in the NHL, and quite surprising the way the Panthers folded at the end there. All right, Matt. Listen, I really appreciate you being here. We all do, and everyone out there, give us a like, subscribe, and remember that Matt Fargo and Chip Chirimbes' games are on gamblersworld.net. Log on, follow by links to become a Gambler's World winner. Matt, it is June 6th, and I do have something other than the fact I went to a junior prom on this date a long time ago. But in 1939, the Giants Hit 5 home runs in 1 inning and won 17-3. Come on, you've been to the junior prom, didn't you? You got a date.
Uh, yeah, actually, yeah, yeah.
Well,
I
it was
think I
on
did.
June
I think I
6th,
did.
mine. Anyway,
I think I did.
in 1941, the New York Giants, once again, who are a dominant in baseball factor early on, went to the plastic batting helmet. Up until those days, no one had worn helmets at all. And in 1969, do you remember Bachelor's 3, Matt? Are you old enough to know that um, Joe Namath opened a restaurant bar in Manhattan called Bachelor's 3, and his partners were members of organized crime? So Pete Rozelle told him he had to sell the restaurant, and Namath came out in a tearful press conference and said he would rather quit football than let anyone interfere in his private business, but he did give up Bachelor's 3 because of his connections.
Oh my
In
gosh!
1971, Willie Mays set the record for Major League Baseball by hitting his 22nd home run in extra innings, which is quite interesting in itself. I never
Wow.
thought about that stat. 22 home runs in extra innings. So you want to talk about clutch players? He is one of them, though
Yep.
he never reached the 2,000 RBI mark, and I don't know why. On this date, 1990, Cecil Fielder hit 3 home runs for the second time in the year. And Matt, I don't know if you know this. I was out here in Las Vegas. The over-under for the year for Cecil Fielder for home runs was 49 and a half. And he entered the day with 48 home runs. And he got up in the 6th inning and hit a home run, and the 8th inning hit a home run to go over with the 50. That was I remember people going crazy here because they had bet the over and they won
Who
that one. On this
who
date,
who
2000, was that
who does Cecil Fielder play for?
Detroit Tigers? Oh, did he really play for the Blue Jays? How much? Not his whole career.
Yes.
Really? Why am I saying Detroit?
Oh no, no, not his whole career. No, 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 no. No, you know why? You know why I say that? Because his rookie year was Toronto. I don't know how long he was there for, but it was mostly Toronto. I think. Yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, I could see him in that uniform. I mean, expanded uniform. He was a big guy, Cecil Fielder. But like I said, on the last day of the year, his last
Yeah.
two at bats, he made the over. He had 48 home runs going in, 49 and a half was the number, and he hit 2 to go to 50. On this date, 14 years ago, number 1 pick, UCLA pitcher Garrett Cole. And in 2018, LeBron James set the NBA playoff record with the most 30-point games, and of course, he's increased on that. And 7 years ago in this state, Casey Mize was drafted number 1 by the Detroit Tigers. So there it is. Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate it. Got some great info from you here and enjoyed the discussion. This is gamblersworld.net. We are here with the winner's circle each and every day. A number of selections from our premier handicappers. So log on, follow the buy links, become a big Gamblers World winner. I thank you. Good luck, and I'll see you next week.